Welcome to the punting monologue.
Here he comes, Chautauqua, boom!
With Benny Clifton.
He latches and wins!
And Sonny Munn.
That is unbelievable!
Proudly brought to you by Midbet. Make a game of it.
Can he do it? He's flying! Yes! There's history!
There's history, and history is in the making right now. I'm Sonny Munn, I'm with Benny Clifton. G'day, and welcome to another massive week of racing. It's Group 1's galore, Benjamin.
Doesn't get much bigger than Golden Slipper Day.
Yeah.
Does it? Oh, the big 2-year-olds up there. Vintage crop of 2-year-olds this year. These are horses who we'll hear a lot about in the coming years, I think. And
Okay.
we'll look back on this year of 2-year-olds with fond memories, hopefully.
Sounds a bit creepy. Can you be vintage in advance?
Yeah, you can.
We're preempting it. Okay.
Yep, yeah, you can.
I stand
in horse racing, you can.
down. All right, we are going to Rosehill, mate. It's Rosehill for the Golden Slipper, like you said. Mate, I think we just get stuck straight into it because we're going to have a hell of a lot of strategizing.
Ka-ching! It's Benny Clifton's Group 1 strategy.
Yeah, mate, we've got about 5, I think, Group 1, so let's just get stuck straight into it, mate. We start with race 5 and the favourite Think It Over, which I know you're a fan of, at $2.60. Via Sistina at $3.40. Buckaroo at $4. And then Place to Carousel, Military Mission. It starts drifting there, mate. I'm assuming the winner's the pointy end of the market.
Yeah, it is. I mean, a Riff Rocket comes out of the race, so that takes the 3-year-old out. I'm sticking with Think It Over. We backed it last start in the Very Elegant. It was a really good ride by National on that occasion. I mean, the confidence levels probably aren't as high at this price. I think it'll run well. Probably the query in the race is Via Sistina, which was a horse that Chris Waller's brought over from the UK, and we on its best form over there, it would probably be the winner. But it's really hard to line it up, and so I'm just going with the tried and true form line in Think It Over. You know what you're going to get from it. It'll go forward and take some running down. So I'll go with Think It Over, but with a real big query over Via Sistina.
When's the last time Via Sistina had a run? Back in England? Like, is it?
Yeah, on
be a
the
bit cold?
21st of October.
It's no good. Scratch it.
J-Mac's on board, though. They've scratched the stable, mate. There's a few signs there that maybe it's ready to go. Yeah, I'd watch the betting late with that horse. It could blow right out or it could firm right in.
Oh, that's the strategy I like to hear, mate. Let's go to the next now, over 2,000. It is race 6. You mentioned Riff Rocket before. That is now in this race at $2.80 at favourite. Tom Kitten, see you there later at $3.40. Immediacy at $7.50. King Colorado at $9.50. And double figures the rest.
So when the market's open for this race and Militarised was in the race, Riff Rocket was third favourite, and I was just looking at my database thinking, how is this third favourite? It should be favourite. And while Militarised came out and Riff Rocket has taken over favouritism from Tom Kitten. I hate that race Tom Kitten's coming out of. Celestial Legend, that ran beginnings, that race rated poorly, blanket finish. I think they're all no good. Whereas Riff Rocket started favourite in the Australian Guineas. That race rated all right. It just didn't sort of get out at the right time and wind up. I think it's looking for the 2,000 metres. Natural Willer goes on board. Real strong jockey, which is what it needs. And I just think it'll eat up this 2,000 metres and should be a solid enough tempo. Very confident with Riff Rocket on Saturday.
Fair enough. Hate's a strong word, Benny. Should never use it. I was told that earlier, but I loathe and detest that advice. Just imagine what you could be buying instead out there, punters. Have a bit of a think about what gambling is really costing you. Mate, let's go to race 7 now, over 1,500. Think about it. At $3.80 is your favourite. Then Militarised at $4.80. NCAP at $8. $9.50 Lady Laguna. And V8, or V8, depending on where you're from, is it double figures, $10.
Yeah, well, I mean, V8 is the horse I'm tipping,
Okay.
But I hate this horse.
Oh,
It's not
it's
one of
pronounced
my...
Vate. I hate Vate.
No, I don't hate the horse. It's generally not one of my horses, but I had to go looking for something because Think About It and Lady Laguna, who are well in the market, I think their queries at the 1,500 metres, queries at the map. I don't know where Think About It's going to get from barrier 17. So I went looking for a 3-year-old. Militarised coming out of that race, and NCAP are coming out of that race that I think rated really poorly, and I don't rate as a form line. So I ended up with V8 sort of by default, and we're looking at the sort of $10 mark or whatever price you quoted. And I think that's it's got enough positives there. From barrier 8, I think Damien Lane was settled in behind the leaders. It's had 3 runs in. Hasn't really done much wrong. Was only beaten a length and a half by Mr. Brightside and Pride of Jenny 2 starts back. Finished near Riff Rocket last start. So, yeah, I'd be happy to back V8. He's not one of mine, but he is on the weekend.
Doesn't sound like you're that happy. It doesn't sound like you're too bullish. It actually sounds like you've been forced into making a selection in that race and you've just thrown it in there. For good measure. And I think our listeners deserve better than that, Ben.
I was able to cross so many out that I didn't like. I had multiple horses.
You just said you hated that one.
I in general, I don't like the horse. I like it on Saturday. I think it's a bet on Saturday.
Look, I'll allow it, but as an old footy coach once said, I hear what you're saying. I just reckon it's bullshit. Let's go to the big one, mate. This is no BS. This is the GS. This is a golden slipper over 1,200, mate. And the horse everyone's talking about vying to be one of the richest in the country, Storm Boy. It's floating around about the 220 mark at the time of recording, 225 into 215, bobbing around like a cork of the ocean there. Then we got Switzerland at pretty neutral price at 460, Lady of Camelot at 750, double figures after that. All the talk's been Storm Boy, mate. It's going to be a bit of wetness around in Sydney. Is that going to hurt it?
Nah, I think it'll be all right. I mean, I think it's the winner, Storm Boy. It's been sort of much publicised how much it was sold for and how good this horse is. But I think you have a look at the pattern. Last start, in terms of ratings, it came off a little bit from what it did in the Magic Millions. So they left a little bit of fitness up their sleeve. That's generally what they do leading into a big race. You can't keep peaking every race of a campaign. So I think they've done that well. Hits this race absolutely cherry ripe, and on the figures it's done in its first 4 starts, it has just exploded. I think it'll probably sweep the 2-year-old Triple Crown. But I did talk about it being a vintage 2-year-old here. There's a lot of good horses in this race. It's just the fact that Storm Boy is just one out of the box that we haven't seen for a while. Switzerland's a good horse. I think Lady of Camelot's a really good horse. Hayasugi's obviously won the Blue Diamond, keeps on winning. Even a horse like Straight Charge is nice. I think coming out of this Golden Slipper, we're going to see a lot of winners. Traditionally, horses have struggled coming out of the Golden Slipper. It's sort of been a Golden Slipper curse, but I think this is a year where there's going to be winner after winner, and we're going to look back on this crop of 2-year-olds as one of the best we've seen in a while.
Is it notoriously a bit of a curse, the Golden Slipper?
It can be, particularly for slipper winners.
Why? Just luck of the draw.
Well, they sort of peak on that day. They're up going early. They don't necessarily take the next step as a 3-year-old. So,
fair
but
enough.
I think Storm Boy, he's as good a 2-year-old as we've seen for a long time.
A couple of smart-ass little kids at my child's daycare that I reckon have peaked at the age of 2 as well, that I wouldn't mind giving a clip around the ears, but that's by the by. But let's go to race 9, mate, and the last of the Group 1 strategies, I believe. Let's go to the market. Osmosis looking to eke its way in at 480. Aft Cabin at 550. 650 Sunshine in Paris. Uncommon James is 950. And then you've asked me to read out Passive Aggressive 14 and King's Gambit at 14. So I'm assuming you've got some value in this one?
Yeah, I mean, this is a real highlight for me, this race.
Okay.
I love the conditions of the race. So every horse sort of gets their chance in this handicap. And they've assembled a really good field. You got some 3-year-olds there. You got some really smart mares. You got some old geldings up the top that are sort of the measuring stick. But I'm going with Sunshine in Paris. This is first up, this horse. This is a really nice horse. And I think they've, it only had one run last time. And so it's obviously had problems. So this is a set play, 2 trials leading into this, drawn nicely, dropped in weight. It's a real turn of foot horse. I think, as I said, it's a set play. So Sunshine in Paris for me. And the other horse I want to back is King's Gambit, who we backed last start in the Oakley Plate, but that was a weird Oakley Plate. They couldn't make ground. I mean, it settled in behind. Ran okay, but I think it is a better horse than that. It goes back to Rosehill, where it ran a massive figure 2 starts back in beating Osmosis, who is the favourite in this race. So willing to give it another chance and go with the 2-horse play in a wide open field.
Yeah, keep an eye on the market too. I just realised Osmosis drifting from 350 to 480, and your Sunshine in Paris actually opened up at $13.
The smart money's arrived, mate.
Hello. I wouldn't have put those 2 words together with me, but that's all right. Just have a think about what gambling is really costing you and set yourself a deposit limit, punters. All right, mate, we've taken a while to get around to it, but let's get to your best.
It's Benny's Best Bet.
For your best, mate, we are going to go to race 4, the Munro Stakes, over 1,200 yards here. Now, Schwartz at 360 is your favourite, just showing Brave Mead and Robrick or Robrick, depending on which side of the tracks you're from, at $5. $8 for Red Resistance, and double figures after that. What's your best?
My best is... Let's start with what isn't my best. I just think the favourite...
Curveball. Put the pens down, guys.
I just think
Here's
the
some
favourite...
things not to back.
I just think the favourite Schwartz is way too short. I don't have its wins rating as well as what the market does, so I'm happy to be against a favourite Schwartz. The horse I have gone with is Brave Mead, number 2. I thought last start in the Zeditive, after a first up win in the Manfred, was really good. They went back from a wide gate. It was completely off the map, 260 into 225. And on that day at Caulfield, he just could not make any ground. But this was a horse who sort of bucked the trend there, ran home really well. And when you run well against the pattern, I think that's a really good sign for your next start. Drawn a softer gate here, so I think they'll be positive and it should settle just in behind the lead. They might even try and go for the lead. But this is a horse who's come back better this time in. I think they've realised that it's probably only a 1,200 metre horse. They tried to get it up to 1,600 metres last time in, but I think there's plenty of options for it at 1,200 metres and looks well placed on Saturday, Brave Mead.
Brave Mead is your best, you beauty. We've also got obviously that massive swag of Group 1s, but you've got something else for us to start the day off, mate. Race 1, the midway over 1,500. Wrathful is vying for favouritism at 450 with Electrica at 460. Tabs is at 750, and after that it's a bit of distance in the market. So what do we like?
Yeah, this is not normally a race I would tend to get involved in, but this horse Tabs I've been following for a while. It's a 3-year-old against the older horses. That's a positive in my opinion. It's got a bit more upside than the rest in the race. Comes out of a really good race, provincial championship qualifier at Kembla Grange, which rated really well. Tempo suits, and there's been occasions in its short career where it's shown a really good turn of foot. And I just think it's a really nice horse that sort of might have snuck under the guard of the market here. They've had a trial in between runs. I like that. And just that Territory Express Willadale form line from Kembla Grange last start has really held up. So Tabs for me, nice little price at $7.50 as you said. So happy to start the day off with it.
Very juicy. You might be able to have something each way. Just have a think. What are you really gambling with? And set yourself that deposit limit. It's now time for the most consistent subject we talk about.
Strap yourself in, punters. It's time for the Punting Monologue Quaddie. Proudly brought to you by Mintbet. Make a game of it.
Yeah, Benny, the sun rises in the east, it sets in the west, and we get about 3 out of 4 legs. But this week week is our week, my friend.
Is that what happened last time? We got 3 again?
The sun went in the east, down in the west, and then I didn't watch any of the racing. What are we on?
All right, race 7. I've added a couple to what's on the rundown. We're leaving out Think About It and Lady Laguna. As I mentioned, I don't love that form line. I am going number 3, Pericles, number 4, Kovalika, number 12, Amenable, number 16, Militarised. I'm leaving it in despite the form line just because it's a 3-year-old. V8 and then MCAP, so 17 and 18. Wide, tough race.
Tell you what, field, race 8.
So this is not as tough as the previous race, I think, because of Stormboy. But I'm going with Stormboy, obviously number 1. But I'm also adding Switzerland and Lady of Camelot just in case Stormboy gets bogged down on the inside or something like that.
Okay, nice one. So we've got ourselves 2 from 2. Let's bring it home in 3 and 4.
Number 1, Private Eye. Number 6, Buenos Noches. Number 11, Sunshine in Paris. Number 13, Osmosis. And number 16, King's Gambit.
That's where we're going to get our value. And then let's get the collect in race 10.
Yeah, we've had to go wide today because it is a tough day. Number 1, Chain of Lightning. Number 4, Say Magique. Number 11, Tashi. And number 15, Extravagant Star.
Oh, there it is, punters. Get ready to cash it in. Get yourself 2 wallets so you're not walking with a limp. Just imagine what you could be buying instead. And now it's time for my favourite way to start every weekend, Ben.
It's the Friday fill-up.
Oh, yeah, mate. This is outrageous. I don't want to say you're lucky. Fall into the proverbial barrel full of arseholes and come out sucking a pair of tits on a Friday arvo, though, because the Friday fill-up has not missed. Well, I think it missed once out of about, what, 6 or 7 weeks?
I think it might have been unlucky that day. But there was a good one at Musselbrook on Friday.
Absolutely.
Nice little price too. I mean, this one has already firmed up. We're going to Scone or Scone.
Depending on where you're from. Tell you what, I'm firming up just at the thought of this. Let's go.
Race 3, number 12, Fool's Doubt.
Bang!
Before a break, it ran second to a horse called Nebraska, and that race absolutely rated through the roof. I mentioned last week that I've got a rating system for my races.
Confused the hell out of me.
Yeah, so if a race...
The one that wins is the one we want to be on,
If a
right?
race rates 0, it means it's gone average. If a race rates -5, it means it's gone terrible. If it rates positive 5, it's gone really well. This went 8.
Clear as mud.
So came out of a race that rated really well. Had a spell. Trial leading in was enormous. All Chelsea Hillier has to do is hold on, I think, and it'll win Fool's Doubt, number 12.
Crikey, already putting the blame on the jockey. I like that. Fool's Doubt to get your Friday started. Let's wrap up the rest of it, mate, because it is a monster day for the Golden Slipper. Rosehill race 1, you like Tavs. There's a bit of value about that. Your best bet is race 4, number 2, Brave Mead. Get on board. Now let's check out your strategies. Group 1s. Race 5, no need to think it over. Get on the top weight there, think it over. Race 6, you're on Riff Rocket. Race 7, number 17, V8. And race 8, you think Storm Boy is worth the hype and the cash. Going to get it done there. And race 9, the Patinant. Benny Clifton, 2-horse play. Sunshine in Paris and King's Gambit. I'll fly through the quaddie for anyone who didn't quite get it last time. Race 7, field 3, 4, 16, 17, 18.
12.
Something else in there. 12. Race 8. Oh, what do you want? 1, 7, 14. Race 9. 1, 6, 11, 13, 16. Race 10. 1, 4, 11, 15. Anything else?
No, I think we've got it covered there.
Sounded like a bloody helium balloon running out. But the Friday fill-up is the one we want to get on first. Get yourself the cream and the jam because we're going to Scone. Race 3, number 12, Fool's Doubt. No doubt we'll be collecting Friday Arvo, but just have a think about what gambling is really costing you and set yourself a deposit limit. Just as importantly, remember to get on the Mint Bet app for all the Monologue quick links. Quick links. What do you reckon they are?
Quinkies. I don't know.
That's where you wink as you get to it quickly. All the quick links. Remember to check out Benny's racing analysis on the Monday at mintsports.com.au. Until then, Ben, anything you want to say?
Nah, thank you, Sonny. Good luck, punters. What a day on Saturday. Golden Slipper Day.
If the
This is what
shoe
we do all the
fits,
training
mate,
for.
this is it. They laughed at us when we said twice a week training sessions. Who's laughing now?
Well, there you have it, folks. Another cracking episode of the Punting Monologue. Proudly brought to you by Mintbet. Make a game of it. Be sure to check us out on socials and head over to mintsports.com.au for the freshest entertainment in sports.
Think, is this a bet you really want to place? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.